to Mighty Sawdust. I'm your host, Darius. First, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And this video is about to begin with the workbench. Now, so you're about to build a project, right? You have a workbench that you bought from the store, but the only problem is when you get it set up and ready to build, does it feel like this? Kind of bent down and working on your project, slouching. Eventually you're just like, oh, my back, I'm done. Well, that's where I come in. I'm going to be building a workbench. You might have seen the actual teaser from earlier. If not, here it is. Pretty cool, huh? That was a clip. Now, to the intro of the actual table and the idea of what inspired me to build this. In the garage, I built some little projects, little cabinet for my daughter, a table for the living room, and you know, it was okay, but the only problem was after a while I had to take breaks because I'm basically bending down. This is what I was using, and eventually, you know, the height's only 33 inches, so I'm basically bending down, being 6'6.5". What I had to do was basically, I had the opportunity to build a table. I designed it. So I basically went to the internet and kind of see what is out there. I had an idea of what I kind of wanted, but with the technology that we have, it's easy to just Google something, and you have Pinterest, YouTube, and I kind of went with some ideas of how people have done theirs. And everyone's basically different because your needs are different and your space is different. So my space was going to be a one-car garage, design table. I ended up using SketchUp. It's a software you can basically play around and design your project. Obviously, the first thing I did, take a tutorial on YouTube and see basically the basics of what you had to do to make shapes and stuff like that. So I did that, and this is basically what I came up with. There I had the idea of what I wanted, the placement of everything. I had a table saw, the miter saw, and some area for working. Now, I've seen a lot of videos out there with the rotating table. So you could have a planer on one side and then you could flip it and use a joiner or a sander, whatever you have. But they kind of didn't work with my space at the time. So I wanted something that's obviously all-in-one, ultimate, you know, go big or go home kind of thing. So kept to the original plan I had, was having the miter saw in the middle, table saw in the corner. Also have a space where in the future I will add a router table concept there. And I still have all this space to work on, which you will see in the next video. So that was a concept, that was a build, and the cool thing about the software, SketchUp, is once you have it designed, you basically select all your pieces, and you can basically get yourself a materials list and a cut list out of that, which is great because, you know, you're designing something that you're like, okay, well, how many pieces do I have to buy of, you know, 2x4s? Do I get 10 foot, 12 foot, 5 12 feet boards, or just stick with the 8 foot, whatever? At least you know how much materials you had to buy. So I knew I needed about 15. I think I ended up getting 16 just in case, and it worked out fine. Did the measurements, and my measurements for the legs happened to be 35 inches. Now you add that with my original table. It had the 4-inch caster wheels, and then the actual tabletop is actually 3 layers. 2 layers are basically 3/4 inch MDF, and then I have a 3rd layer of birch plywood as a top, also 3/4. So that's a nice thick piece of top layer. So that's about 3 inches or so, right? 3 inches plus a 35. I'm already at about 38 inches with just the wood material. Added the 4-inch wheels that ended up being 42 inches. So that's pretty much like a bar height type situation. It was great. So yeah, so that's basically the material that in the height that I kind of have it at. And this is basically a temporary ultimate workbench right now. Obviously, yes, I will be adding upgrades to this table, but if I ever do move to a bigger shop, I will definitely rethink and redesign it. Just basically, I used it, I see the flaws, I see what works, then I can, add those to the new design. But for now, hey, I'm happy how it turned out. And the biggest thing is if you get an idea, draw it out, plan it out, and just do it yourself. That's what this is, the DIY kind of project. And where else can you get a nice big bench that will fit your needs perfectly? Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for me. Like I said, what I had was this, the Dewalt workbench, and any other workbench brand I would have gotten, rigid, a Ryobi, obviously I had the Dewalt. They're all pretty much the standard height of the 33 inches. So it was just not gonna work for me in the long haul. I wanna be comfortable and have fun when I'm building it. Next video will be actually me showing you of how I was going about reassembling this table. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and I hope you do hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell, and I will see you on the next video.